the suite of offices that says no one gets to see the wizard.
Like it. All right, friends. Shabbat shalom and good Shabbos.
Shabbat shalom and good Shabbos.
Shabbat shalom and good Shabbos.
As you can tell, the macadamias are here, and they were here early. I know everybody's taking a collective breath or clutching their pearls. I can't tell which they're doing.
We booked a private service.
They booked a private service. I love it. I love it. But it is Shabbat morning here in Huntington. After all the rain yesterday, and boy did it rain a lot. And then last night it even rained some more. The sun is out. It's starting to dry up, and it promises to be a nice day. But regardless of the weather, it's Shabbat, and it's the first of April. So it's April Fool's Day. And I guess what's going to happen is halfway through the service, the macadamias are going to take off their costumes, and they're going to be somebody else. And they're going to say, April Fool's, Rabbi. I don't know. We'll see.
There has to be like peanuts or something instead.
As long as you're not M&Ms. Because nobody would want to date you. Anyway, for those who watch the ridiculous thing that passes for news now. Okay, page 68, a little bit of gratitude, and I'm grateful right off the bat that the macadamias are here. So a little bit of Modeh Ani, top of 68. Modeh Ani lefanecha, melech chai v'kayam. Modeh Ani lefanecha, melech chai v'kayam. Shehechezarta bi nishmati bechemla rabba emunatecha modeh ani lefanecha melech chai v'kayam. Page 74, we'll continue our warm-up as we get moving through the early part of the service. Matovu. Matovu, 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 Ohalecha Yaakov, Mishkenotecha Yisrael, Mishkenotecha Yisrael, Va'ani berov chastecha, Ahavo veitecha, Eheshtachaveh, El heichal kodshecha, B'yiratecha el heichal kodshecha b'yiratecha Adonai hafti me'on beitecha u'mekom mishkan kevodecha va'ani eshtachaveh v'yechra evrecha lifnei Adonai osi va'ani tefilati Lecha Adonai, Ehi Rahatzon, Elohim, Berov Chastecha, Aneni Bemet Ishecha. Page 76, Asher Yatzar. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech olam asher yatzar et hadam b'chokhmah uvara bo nekavim nekavim chalulim chalulim galui v'yadu lifnei chisei chivodecha she'im yipateach echad mehem o yisatem echad mehem אי אפשר להתקיים ולעמוד לפניך. ברוך אתה אדוני, רופא כל בשר ומפליא לעשות. Ooh, page 80. Birkot HaShachar proper, the morning blessings. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech olam, asher natan l'sechvi bina lahavchin bein yom v'layla. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech olam, pokeach ivrehim. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech olam, matir asurehim. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech olam, zokef kefufihim. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech olam, Roka haaretz alamayim, Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam hamechin mitzadei gaber. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam malbish arumim. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam hanoten lev koach. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam hama'avir shena me'inai u'numa me'afapai. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam she'asani b'tzelem Elohim. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam she'asani ben chorim. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam she'asani Yisrael. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam ozer Yisrael b'gvorah. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam Otei Yisrael b'tifarah. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu la'asok b'divrei Torah. Right. Elu devarim. Elu devarim. These are the things, right? We do them on while we're alive, and we get mitzvah credits for that. And then we also, that credit carries over, according to the rabbis, into Alom Haba, into the next manifestation of our lives, whatever that may be. Top of page 88. Elu devarim she'en lehem shiur, she'adam ochel perutehem ba'olam hazeh, va'keren kayemet lo li'olam haba. Ve'elu hein, kibud av ve'em, u'gemilut chasadim, Ashkamat Beit HaMidrash Shacharit Va'aravit V'hachnasat Orchim U'bichor Cholim V'hachnasat Kala U'leviat Hamet V'iyun Tefillah V'havaat Shalom Bein Adam L'Chavero V'talmud Torah Keneged Kulam. Kaddish Rabbanan, pages 90 and 92. As our friend Max says, if you can read these 2 pages, the rest of the Siddur, pretty easy to navigate. Yitkadal v'yitkadash shmei rabba v'alma divrach yiruteh v'yamlik malchuteh v'chayechon v'yomechon v'chayei dechol beit Yisrael v'agala v'zman kariv v'yimru amen. Yehei shmei rabba mevarach l'olam olamei amaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitramam v'yitnaseh v'yitadar v'yitalev v'yitalal shmei dekudshah b'richu. Le'elam min kol birchata v'shirata, tushbachata v'nechamata, da'amiram ba'alma v'yimru, amen. Al Yisrael v'al Rabbanan v'al Tamidehon, v'al kol Tamidei Tamidehon, v'al kol man daskin b'raita, di v'yatra haden v'di v'chol atar v'atar. Yehei lahon ulchon shlama rabba, china v'chista v'rachamin, v'chayin arichin, u'mezunei v'bichei, u'frukanam min kodam avahon v'bishmaya v'yara v'yimru, amen. Yehei shlama rabba min shemaya, v'chayim tovim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'yimru, amen. Oseh shalom v'yimrumav, hu brachamav ya'aseh shalom. Aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'al kol yoshvei tevel v'yimru, amen. All right, that is Birkot HaShachar, the preliminary service. We're now moving into Psukei de Zimra, verses of Psalm and Praise, top of 94. Baruch Shamar V'Haya Olam, Baruch Hu, Baruch Osev Reshit, Baruch Omer V'Yoseh, Baruch Gozer Mechayim, Baruch Merachem Al Haaretz, Baruch Merachem Al Habriot, Baruch Meshalem Sacherto V'Reyahav, Baruch Chaylad V'Kayam L'Netzach, Baruch Podeh U'Matzil, Baruch Shemo. Then 3 lines from the bottom of the English paragraph. Let's read together. With songs of praise, we extol you and proclaim your sovereignty, for you are the source of life in the universe. One God, life of the universe, praised and glorious ruler, your name is eternal. Blessed are you, Adonai, sovereign, who is glorified through praise. Baruch atah Adonai, melech b'hulal b'tishbachot. Page 96, some selected verses from Psalm 92, our psalm for Shabbat. Mizmor shir liyom hashabbat, tov lehodot ladonai, ulzamer l'shimcha elyon, lehagid baboker chastecha, ve'emunatecha baleilot, alei asur v'alei navel, alei higayom bechinor, alei asur v'alei navel, alei higayom bechinor. Tzadikata hamar yifrach, ke'erez balvanon yiskeh, shetulim bebeit Adonai, bechatzrot Eloheinu yahafrichu. O Jenu Beseva, Deshenim Vera'ananim, Yiyu Lehagi, Ki Ashar Adonai, Tsuri Velo Avlatabo. All right, page 97. I'm gonna trick things up a little bit today. We're gonna have the macadamias start us off on Ashrei. That's what we're gonna do. Page 97 at the top.
Ashrei Yoshvei Beitecha, O Yehalucha Selah.
Ashrei ha'am shekacha lo, Ashrei ha'am shadonai Elohav.
Telah leDavid, Mincha v'Haran lehu, v'lecha Shimcha le'olam va'ed.
B'chol yom avarchecha, v'hala shimcha li'olam va'ed.
Ador Adonai hu la'orehu, v'lidoleto ein cheker.
Dor l'dor yishabach ma'asecha, u'gvoratecha yagidu.
Hadar k'v'lechotecha, v'yivei lechotecha asicha.
Be'zuz noretecha yomeru, u'dolatecha asaprena.
Zecher al-tucha yavihu, v'tzidchatcha yiranenu.
Chanun v'rachum Adonai, erech apayim u'gdol chased.
Tov Adonai l'kol, v'rachamav al kol ma'asaha.
Yoduch Adonai kol ma'asecha, v'chasidecha yevarchucha.
Kevod malchutcha yomeru, gvoratcha yedaberu.
Lehodia libnei hadam gvorotav, u'chavod hadar malchuto.
Malchutcha malchut kol amim, u'menshaltecha b'chol dor v'dor.
So mechanai l'chol hanoflim, v'zokef l'chol hakfufim.
Einei kol elecha yisaberu, v'yatanutim lahem et orham be'ito.
Poteach et yadecha, u'maspil l'chol chai ratzon.
Tzadik Adonai b'chol da'achav, v'chasid b'chol ma'asahav.
Karov Adonai l'chol korav, l'chol asher yikruhu v'emet.
V'ritzon yire'av ya'aseh, v'yashavatam yishma v'yoshi'ehim.
Shomer Adonai et kol ohavav, v'et kol rashaim yashmid.
Teilat Adonai davar pihi, v'yivarech kol basar shem kodsho le'olam va'ed.
V'anachnu nevarech yaha, me'ata v'ad olam. Hallelujah. That's refreshing. I know the second lines.
Yay.
I know the even lines.
Can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
I always stumble over, you cry ooh. It feels like a lot.
Yigruhu v'emet.
You grow who? Okay, I'm probably just not saying this.
What
I
line?
thought it was, where is it? Yeah, it's, after
Karov
Tzadik.
Adonai l'chol korav, v'chol asher yika'uhu ve'emet.
Yeah. It was nice to hear you say it because I would stumble there. You grow who?
Yikra'uhu. L'chol asher yik, right? Because the shva is there.
Mhm.
So that ends a syllable. Yikra'uhu. So 1, 2, 3.
Oh,
1, 2, 3 vowel, 4 vowels,
Mhm.
4 syllables. Yikra'uhu.
I just always feel like I don't have enough time, but you timed it nicely, so it was good to hear.
Karov Adonai l'chol korav, l'chol asher yikra'uhu v'emet. Yeah, I did.
Yay.
All right, page 100. Hallelujah. 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 Bekodsho. Hallelujah. Birkia uzo. Hallelujah. Bivorotaha. Hallelujah. Kirov gudlo. Hallelujah. Beteka shofar. Hallelujah. Benevel bechinor. Hallelujah. Betofu macho. Hallelujah. Bemini viugav. Hallelujah, b'tziltzlei shama. Hallelujah, b'tziltzlei trua. Kol haneshama tehalel. Hallelujah. Kol haneshama tehalel. Hallelujah. I like that song. It's like a rock concert. All the Levites jamming on their instruments.
I think the resounding cymbals are like the ride cymbals, and the loud clashing are like the crash.
Yeah. Well, listen, if you want the, what is it, onomatopoeia? Onomatopoetic? Tziltzalei. Tziltzalei.
That's cool.
Right? It sounds like,
That's
awesome.
I mean, that's the whole point. I mean, pardon my but that's sound, when people make the sound of cymbals, right? When they're, that's the sound they make, that's sound in tziltzalei.
That's very cool.
The tziltzaleiing, the sound of the tz of the trua or the so there.
It's just like the part of the concert where the lead singer gives a call out to every band member. Like,
Yeah.
And there he is on the resounding cymbals and the loud clashing cymbals.
Levi number 3.
That's cool.
Or if you're an Allman Brothers fan, this is when in the middle of the concert every instrument gets like a 20-minute solo. So it's like on the
Here comes the harp and lyre.
Here comes the harp and the lyre. Harpo and Groucho? Yeah. All right, page 101, Nishmat. Nishmat kol chai, tevarech et shimcha Adonai Eloheinu, Baruch hu basar tifer. Min halom ba'halom, atahel ein malach elata, הראשונים והאחרונים, אלוהי, כל בחירות אדום, כל התולדות, אמרו לו ברוב התשבחות, גודלו בחסד, ובריאתה ברחמים, אדוני לא ינום ולא יישן, אנחנו מודים, אילו פינו, מלא שירה קיים, לשוננו הנה כמה, עליו שפתנו שבח, אין אנחנו מספיקים להודות. לך אדוני אלוהינו ואלוהי אבותינו ואמותינו, ולברך את שמך מאלף אלף אלפי אלפים, וריבי רבבות פעמים. עמנו ועמנו, על כן איברים שבעת בנו, ברוח ונשמה. לשון אשר שמת בפינו, אין הם יודו ולקו ושפו. כי כל פה לך ליודע וכל לשון לך תשבע, וכל ברך לך תכרע, וכל קומה לפניך תשבע. וכל עצמותיי תאמר באדוני מי חמור לדוד, ברכי נפשי את אדוני וכל קרבי את שם קודשו. האל בתעצמות עוזך, הגדול בכבוד שמך, הגיבור לנצח והנורא בנורותיך, המלך היושב על כיסא גרם ונישא, שוכן עד מהרום, וקדוש שמו, וכתוב רננו צדיקים באדוני לשרים נאווה תהילה, בפי ישרים תתהלל, ובדברי צדיקים תתברך, ובלשון חסידים תתרומם, ובקרב קדושים תתקדש, ובמחלות רבבות עמך בית ישראל, ורינה יפר שמך מלכנו בכל דור ודור. ישתבח שמך לעד מלכנו, Ha'el hamelech hagadol kadosh b'shamayim u'ba'aretz. Ki lecha na Adonai Eloheinu v'Elohei avoteinu v'imoteinu. Shir u'shvacha halel v'zimra ozu memshala netzach gedula ugevura tila v'tiferet kedusha u'malchut brachot v'hodaot me'ata v'ad olam. Baruch atah Adonai El melech gadol batishbachot El haodaot Adon haniflaot Abocher b'shirei zimra Melech elchei ha'olamim Yitkadahal v'yitkadash shemei rabbah V'alma divrach cherutei v'yamlik malchutei B'chayechon uv'yomechon Uv'chayei dechol beit Yisrael Bahagala, uvizmahan kahariv, v'yimeru, amen. Yahesh mechraba mevarach, le'olam olam me'almaya. Yitbarach, v'yishtabach, v'yitpar, v'yitramam, v'yitnaseh, v'yitadar, v'yitaleb, v'yitalal, shmei dekudisha, b'richu. Leila min kol birchata v'shirata tushbechata v'nechemata dahamihiram belma v'yimeru. Amen. Baruch Hu. Page 108. Baruch Hu et Adonai hamevorach.
Baruch Adonai Hamvorach Leolam Va'ed.
Baruch Adonai Hamvorach Leolam Va'ed. Baruch Atah Adonai Eloheinu Melech HaOlam Asher Kiddishanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu al mitzvat Kriyat Shema lehamlicho b'levav shalem u'yachto b'lev tov u'lovdo b'nefesh chafetza u'lovdo b'nefesh chafetza. And together in the English, praise are you, Adonai, our God, ruler of the universe, who hallows us with mitzvot, commanding us to recite the Shema, to declare wholeheartedly God's rule, to declare earnestly God is one, and to zealously worship God. I like zealous. I don't like zealots, but I like zealous.
Yeah.
Is that the Ashkenaz way of pronouncing zealot? Is a zealous. Ah, that's it. Page 110, the first bracha before Kriyat Shema. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech olam, yotzer or uvorei choshech, Oseh shalom uvarei et hakol, hameir la'aretz l'darim aleha barachamim, uvtuvo mechadesh b'chol yom tamid ma'aseh bereshit, ma rabu ma'aseh Adonai kulam b'chokhmah asita, ma ha'aretz kinyanecha v'titbarach Adonai Eloheinu al shevach ma'aseh yadecha v'yal me'orei or shasita yefaru chasela or chadash al tzion ta'ir v'nizkech ulanu mehera lioro baruch atah Adonai yotzer hameorot. Page 112. Ava rabba havtanu Adonai Eloheinu chemla gedola v'teira Chamalta aleinu. Let's read together in the English. How deeply you have loved us, Adonai, our God, is gracing us with surpassing compassion. On account of our forebears whose trust led you to teach them the laws of life, be gracious to us, teaching us as well. O merciful one, have mercy on us by making us able to understand and discern, to heed, learn, and teach, and lovingly to observe, perform, and fulfill all that is in your Torah. V'ha'ereinu b'toratecha, v'dahabek lebeinu b'mitzvotecha, v'yachei levaveinu li'ahava u'yira et shmecha, V'lo nevosh, v'lo nikalem, v'lo nikashel, ve'olam vahed, ki v'shem kodshecha, hagadol v'hanora b'hatachnu, Nagila, Nagila, v'nismecha v'yishuatecha, v'havienu l'shalom arba kanfot ha'aretz, v'tolichenu k'mimiut li'artzenu, ki el poel yeshuot ata, uvanu v'charta v'keravtanu l'shimcha hagadol sela be'emet, lehodot l'cha l'hatcha be'ahavaha, Baruch atah Adonai, Abocher ba'amo Yisrael, be'ahava. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Ve'ahavta ha'et Adonai Elohecha, Bechol levavcha, ubechol nafshecha, ubechol meodecha, vehayu advarim ha'ele, asher anochi mitzavecha, hayom ha'levavecha, v'shinantam levanecha, v'dibarta bam, v'shivtecha b'veitecha, uvlektecha b'derech, Uvashochbecha, uvkumecha, ukshartam leot al yadecha, vehayu latotafot beineinecha, uchtaftam al mezuzot beitecha, uvish arecha. Page 118. Vayomer Adonai el Moshe lemor, dahaber El b'nei Yisrael, v'amarta aleihem, v'asu lahem tzitzit, al kanfei v'gdehem, l'dorotam, v'natenu, al tzitzit ha'kenaf, v'til tacheled, v'haya lachem, l'tzitzit, uritem oto, Uschartem et kol mitzvot Adonai va'asitem otam v'lo taturu acharei lavachem v'acharei einechem asher atem zonim achareihem leman tizkeru va'asitem et kol mitzvotai v'item kedoshim leloechem Ani Adonai Elohechem Asher Hotzeiti Etchem Me'eretz Mitzrayim Liot Lachem Lelohim Ani Adonai Elohechem Adonai Elohechem Emet V'yatzivahu v'chaviv v'noha v'adir v'tov yafa. Hadavar hazeh aleinu le'olam v'hed. Emet Elohei olam malkeinu. Tzor Yaakov Magen Yishenu. L'dor v'ador hu kayam u'moshe. L'dor v'ador hu kayam v'shemo kayam v'chiso nachon malchuto v'emunuto la'ad kayam hed. Udivarav chayim v'kayamim v'nemanim v'nechmadim la'ad olamei olamim Mitzrayim galtanu Adonai Eloheinu Mibeit avadim peditanu al zot shikhu ahuvim v'romemu el v'natanu yedidim zmirot shirot v'tishbachot brachot v'hodaot l'melech el chai v'kayam ram v'nisa gadol v'nora mashpil ge'im u'magbia shefalim motzi asirim u'fodeh anavim V'ozer dalim v'oneh lamo v'eit shabam. Tehilot le'el elyon baruchum vorach Moshe v'nei Yisachanu shira b'simcha rabah v'yamru chulam Mi chamocha ba'elim Adonai. Mi kamocha nedar ba'kodesh. Nohora tehilot osefele. Shira chadasha shibchu ge'ulim leshimcha sifatayam. Yachad kulam hodu v'himlechu v'amru Adonai yimloch liolam vaed. Tzor Yisrael kuma be'ezrat Yisrael uvdechinu mecha Yehuda v'Yisrael. Go aleinu Adonai tzvaot shemo Kedosh Yisrael. Baruch atah Adonai Ga'al Yisrael. We are at the central prayer of the morning or the Shacharit service, the Amidah. Page 124, 126, 128. And for those of you who can't get enough of a good thing, 130 we will chant together. And then we'll go in silent mode for the rest of the Amidah. And during that time, you can finish the prayer in English. You can read you can finish the prayer in Hebrew. You can read the creative translations, or you can offer up your own prayer during this time. But we're going to begin together on 124. Adonai sifatai tiftach ufi agi tehilatecha. Adonai sifatai tiftach ufi agi tehilatecha. Adonai, open up my lips that my mouth may declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu v'Elohei Avotenu v'Imotenu. Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak, Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, Elohei Leah. Ha'el Hagadol, Hagibor, V'Hanora, El Elyon, Gomer Chasadim Tovim, V'Konei Hakol, V'Zocher Chasdei Avot V'Imahot, Umevi Goel Livnei B'neihem, Leman Shemo Ba'ahava, Melech Ozer Umoshia Umagin, Baruch Atah Adonai, Magin Avraham, V'Ezrat Sarah, Atah Gibor Le'olam Adonai, Mechaye Meitim Atarav Lahoshia, Mashiv HaRuach, Umorid HaGashem, Mechalkel Chayim B'Chesed, Mechaye Meitim Berachamim Rabim, Sohomech Noflim Verofe Choholim, Umatir Asurim, Umekayem Emunato, Lishenei Afar, Michamocha Baal Givorot, Umidom Melach, Melech Memit Umechayeh, Umatzmiach Yeshua, V'ne'eman atah lachayot metim, Baruch atah Adonai, Mechayeh hametim. Nekadesh et shimcha ba'olam, Keshem shemachdishim oto b'shmei maro, Kakatuv al yad neviecha, V'kara zeh el zeh v'amar, Kadosh, 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 Adonai Tzvaot, Meloch ol haaretz, Kivodo. Adir, Adirenu, Adonai, Adonenu, Ma'adir, Shimcha b'chol haaretz, Baruch Kivod Adonai, Min Koho. Echad hu Eloheinu, hu Avinu, hu Malkeinu, hu Moshienu, vehu Yashmienu, v'rachamav le'enei kol chai, Ahani Adonai Elohechem, Yimloch Adonai L'olam, Elohai Yichtzion, Ledor Vador, Alleluia. Ledor Vador Nagid Kohod Lecha, Ulenetzach Netzachim Kedushatcha Nahakdish, V'shichacha Eloheinu Mipinu Lo Yamush Leolam Va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai Ha'el HaKadosh. If you're completing your Amidah, please take your time. Page 134, let's read together in English in the middle of the page. Our God and God of our ancestors, be pleased with our rest. Sanctify us with your mitzvot and grant us a share in your Torah. Satisfy us with your goodness and gladden us with your salvation. Purify our hearts to serve you in truth. In your gracious love, Adonai our God, grant us your holy Shabbat as a heritage. May Israel, who sanctifies your name, rest on Shabbat. Blessed are you, who sanctifies Shabbat. Baruch atah Adonai, Mekadesh HaShabbat. What do you say, macadamias? Are you up for a ritzay?
Sure.
A ritzay. The ritzay. Have at it.
Ritzei Adonai Eloheinu V'hamecha Yisrael U'tefilatam Yahava Tekabel U'tehil Ratzon Tamid Avodat Yisrael Yisrael Amecha El Karov Lecho Korah Penei El Avadecha V'choleinu Shefo Ruchacha Aleinu V'techezena Eineinu Veshurecha leZion Berachamim Baruch atah המחזיר שכינתו לציון, לציון.
Now let's turn to page 138 and read the Modim, the Thanksgiving paragraph together in English. We acknowledge with thanks that you are Adonai, our God, and the God of our ancestors forever. You are the rock of our lives and the shield of our salvation in every generation. Let us thank you and praise you for our lives which are in your hand, for our souls which are in your care, for your miracles that we experience every day, and for your wondrous deeds and favors at every time of day, evening, morning, and noon. O good one, whose mercies never end, O compassionate one, whose kindness never fails, we forever put our hope in you. O God, for all these things, O sovereign, let your name be forever praised and blessed. O God, our Redeemer and Helper, let all who live affirm you and praise your name in truth. Blessed are you, Adonai. Your name is goodness, and you are worthy of thanksgiving. Baruch atah Adonai, hatov shimcha ulecha na'el lehodot. All right, page 140. We'll close out, as we always do, the Amidah with a prayer for peace. In the evenings and afternoons, it's Shalom Rav, but in the mornings, it's Sim Shalom. Sim Shalom, Tova Uvracha, Chen V'Chesed V'Rachamim, Aleinu V'Al Kol Yisrael Amecha, Barucheinu Yotzreinu Kulanu K'Echad V'Or Panecha, Ki V'Or Panecha Nahatata Lanu Adonai Eloheinu Torat Chaim V'Ahavat Chesed Utzedaka Uvracha V'Rachamim V'Rachamim V'Chaim V'Shalom V'Rachamim V'Chaim V'Shalom V'Tov Be'einecha L'Vaharech Et Amecha Amecha Yisrael Bechol eit uvechol shah bishlomecha Baruch atah Adonai hamivarech et amo Yisrael b'shalom. All right, I'll jump ahead to page 253 for the Misha Berach, for the Cholim, for those who are ill. If you have anyone who needs a little extra healing, keep them in your thoughts and close to your heart. And then after Shabbat, take those thoughts and prayers and put them into action. Reach out to them, let them know you're thinking about them. And because we are not just about thoughts and prayers, we're about action. Top of 253. Mishaverach avotenu v'imotenu Avraham Yitzchak v'Yaakov Sarah Rivka Rachel v'Leah Hu yivarech et hacholim. Hakadosh Baruch Hu Yimalei Rachamim Aleihem L'chalimam L'rapotam L'chazikam V'yishlach Lehem Mehera Refuah Shlema Min Hashemayim Refuah Tanefesh Refuah Taguf Hashta Bagala Vizman Kariv Menomar Amen. May the one who blessed our ancestors Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, Sarah, Rebekah, Rachel, and Leah, bless and heal those who are ill. May the Blessed Holy One be filled with compassion for their health to be restored and their strength to be revived. May God swiftly send them a complete renewal of body and spirit. And let us say, Amen. Prayers of our community right now, right here, right now. We've got the Doctors Murphy, and one of them can do for our congregation, one of them can do for our country. I'm going to make them make a choice. So those of you who are davening with us at home, go get a snack now, because making choices takes time.
We're good at communicating. Source of all being, may the children of this community learn these passions from us: love of Torah, devotion and prayer, and support of the needy. May we guide with integrity, and may our leadership be in your service. May those who teach us be nourished, and nourish us be blessed with satisfaction, and may we appreciate their time and devotion. We appreciate you, Rabbi. Bless us with the fruits of wisdom and understanding, and may our efforts bring fulfillment and joy.
Baruch atah Adonai, shotacha levatcha b'yira na'avod. I only heard that we appreciate you, Rabbi, from one of the doctors.
You're appreciated.
Okay, thank you. I needed to hear that, thank you.
Yeah.
I'm listening.
Thus says Adonai, this is what I desire, to unlock the fetters of wickedness and untie the cords of lawlessness, to let the oppressed go free, to break off every yoke. Share your bread with the hungry, and take the wretched poor into your home. When you see the naked, give clothing, and do not ignore your own kin. If you banish the yoke from your midst, the menacing hand, the evil speech, if you offer compassion to the hungry and satisfy the famished creature, then your light shall shine in darkness.
Sha'alu shalom Yerushalayim, Yishlayu Hovayich. Pray for the peace of Jerusalem. May those who love you prosper. Avinu Shabbat Sur Yisrael V'Golo, V'arech et Medinat Yisrael, Reishit Tzmichat Geulatenu, Hagen Aleha V'yavrat Chasdecha, Ufros Aleha Sukat Shlomecha, Ushlach Oracha V'amitcha L'Rasheha, Sareha V'yotzeha, V'tachneim Be'etza Tova Milfanecha, V'natata Shalom Ba'aretz, V'simchat Olam Liyoshveha, V'namar Amen. O Heavenly One, protector and redeemer of Israel, bless the state of Israel, which marks the dawning of hope for all who seek peace. Shield it beneath the wings of your love, spread over it the canopy of your peace. Send your light and truth to all who lead and advise, guiding them with your good counsel. Establish peace in the land and fullness of joy for all those who dwell there. Amen. Apropos of nothing, do you know what the Buddha named his son?
Oh.
No, I wish. Rahula. Rahula means fetter, F-E-T-T-E-R.
Oh.
He saw his son as something that would bind him to the world.
Oh, I thought you meant like,
One does
Weigh him
get
down.
attached to one's children, that is for sure.
But Rahula, yeah, it comes in the piece that for our country.
sounds kind of Semitic.
Rahula? Yeah, and that's it's a Hindi. But again, you know,
Sounds beautiful.
yeah, I mean, at that time in the world, when languages, you know, were much younger, there was more crossover in the world than we give them credit for.
Yeah.
Not as much as we have, but there were intrepid people. Shabbat Shalom and good Shabbos.
Shabbat Shalom, good Shabbos.
Good Shabbos.
Here we are, the Shabbat right before Pesach, known as Shabbat Hagadol. And traditionally, it's one of only 2 times during the year that the rabbi would speak formally from the pulpit, right? The other being Shabbat Shuvah right before Yom Kippur, right? The rest of the year, we would just do teachings. We would take a Torah verse and expound on it for a little bit. But on Shabbat Hagadol and Shabbat Shuvah, bring a lunch. These were long sermons, 2, 3, 4, 5, some rabbis, 6 hours of talking about getting ready for the holiday. You know, it's the myriad, especially in Passover, right? With all the things that we have to do to get our homes ready, right? It would be clarifying the myriad of laws that pertained to Pesach. There is so much to do and never enough time to do it. For a holiday that celebrates our release from slavery, we turn ourselves into slaves while preparing for it. And it's no surprise that some people wind up really disliking Passover. They've worked themselves to the bone and are exhausted, not from the celebration, but from the preparation. Every year, I try to review the Haggadah before my Sdarim. I do it so I can see what speaks to me, to see what needs fresh eyes. In other words, what do I need to rethink or relearn? Each year, there's something that jumps out and screams at me to pay attention, and I never know what it is. So each year, I sit down and I read the Haggadah with a true sense of anticipation. So this year, the line that jumped out at me was something that's jumped out at me before, but I'm not the same person I was years ago. Avadim hayinu lefaro b'mitzrayim v'yotzienu Adonai Eloheinu misham. We were slaves to Pharaoh in Egypt, and God brought us out from there. A little later, we read, B'chol dor vador chayav adam lirot et atzmo ke'ilu hu yatsa mi Mitzrayim. In every generation, each individual is obligated to see themselves as if they actually went out from Egypt. And there's a wonderful symmetry in the mind of the Haggadah. Pesach is this festival celebrating our freedom. That's the point of it. But we're reminded that we were slaves, right? It's not just we're free, that's great. We remember when we weren't free. Millennia later, we are still commanded to see ourselves as taking part in the Exodus story. We're not passive observers of some long ago event or just remembering that our ancestors left Mitzrayim. Rather, each of us are leaving Mitzrayim at that moment. If all we see during Passover is an old ritual celebrating the fact that our ancestors went from one place to another, and we're just recalling that, then Passover has no meaning. It might as well be Armistice Day, July 4th, right? None of us fought in the Revolutionary War. None of us, remember what it was like to be under the king or break away from the king, but we still celebrate it, but we don't internalize it as much. Passover is a time that we need to internalize. But how do we do this? How can we do this? None of us are slaves. Or are we? Take a moment to think about what it means to be free. Right? For the Israelites, the first commandment was given to them as a whole was the command to establish a calendar, to take control of your time. That's what it meant to be free for them. For hundreds of years, 400 years, they lived according to someone else's time. And so when God was getting ready to pull the cord, as it were, to release them, God said, you have to have a calendar. First and foremost, you have to have a calendar because you are in control of your own time. You are not beholden to someone else. So are we really free? The rabbis teach that slavery is not only physical bondage. Slavery can be psychological or spiritual bondage as well. In an age of cell phones, tablets, constant internet access, 24-hour cable news, can we ever be truly free? Are we ever able to turn things off? Are we ever able to have a moment of silence? And even if we are lucky and we are not connected to our devices and are able to turn off the television and or the computer and or the tablet and or the phone, we are still surrounded by people who are enslaved by their devices. We don't live in a vacuum. And that's only one example. Everybody has an example of something to which they may feel enslaved. But there's a bigger lesson to Pesach as well, something that often gets overlooked. How can we be free if others aren't? How can I celebrate my freedom knowing that there are still people enslaved? Several times this past year, I've spoken about increased violence directed towards minorities and the LGBTQ plus communities. Hateful rhetoric often fills the world in which we live. We may come across it on social media, or we may even hear it from our elected officials. The aim of hateful speech is to put fear into the hearts of those at whom it is directed. There's another word for that. It's called terrorism. Sometimes this rhetoric leads to horrific actions. But hateful words and hateful deeds are both aimed at terrorizing others. These behaviors are attempts to keep people from living freely, not as slaves. In other words, these actions are attempts to enslave others. Recently, there was yet another school shooting where innocent people and children, who are also people, but children lost their lives. Children and parents across the country are terrified. Parents are afraid that their children won't come home from school. And they feel there's nothing they can do to protect their own children. And moreover, the very people who can help remove the fear, to deliver them from bondage, do nothing. Actually, I'm sorry, they send thoughts and prayers. But I've been a rabbi for close to half of my adult life, and I have never witnessed a thought or a prayer returning a murdered child back to his or her mother and father. Slavery keeps us from being the people we are meant to be. All of us have the potential to become enslaved, whether we are enslaved by our own actions. Think of the person who cannot stop checking their phone, or are addicted to something, not a phone, but drugs or alcohol or tobacco, anything that keeps them in a narrow place. We may be also enslaved by fear. The list is long. Slavery places us in a narrow place, a meitzar, a place that constricts us, a place that presses down upon us. And it's no coincidence that Mitzrayim, the name for Egypt in Hebrew, shares the root for narrow place. Egypt was the place where we couldn't be who we were meant to be. It was a place where we were seen as objects instead of people. Whenever we let others define who we are, whether we let something, a job, a person, a word, define who we are in a narrow place and therefore slaves. Pesach reminds us all that we can indeed be free. We can move forward and leave slavery behind. It's not going to be easy. It will be scary. It will be hard. But we can break out of the constricting places in our lives. We can use Pesach to begin our personal journeys from slavery to freedom. And by some miracle, if by some miracle you are already on your journey, you can help others break their bonds and move towards a life of meaning and freedom. Shabbat Shalom, good Shabbos, and an early Chag Sameach.
Shabbat Shalom, good Shabbos, and an early Chag Sameach.
Yeah, I'm not feeling it.
Chag Sameach.
I'm not feeling it. It's okay. It's okay. We have a special treat today. We have one of the doctors, Murphy. One of them. I'm not going to say which one, but they're going to come up and they're going to teach us a little bit as well. So I'm going to sit down and I'm not going to sit in the chair. I'm not going to sit in the rabbi's chair because I want to hear this. I want to pay attention to this. So, Dr. Murphy.
Thank you, sir.
Sir.
Yeah.
I'm in trouble.
How respect people around these parts.
Great.
Shabbat Shalom, everybody.
Shabbat Shalom! And good Shabbos.
Oh, and good job. That was a nice one. March 31st, which was yesterday, is the International Transgender Day of Visibility. According to Gallup, only 19% of people over age 65 say that they know someone who's transgender. This number rises to about 50% when people under age 30 are asked the same question. This indicates a growing acceptance of transgender people by younger members of society. Sadly, although there have been gains in transgender equality and visibility, this year has seen a dramatic rise in anti-transgender legislation. As of today, over 400 anti-transgender state legislature bills have been filed so far this year. Currently, transgender Americans are being scapegoated and targeted. As Jews, we should recognize this unsettlingly familiar tactic.
Our congregation is largely composed of adults over age 65, even though, present company excluded. This day, after Transgender Day of Visibility, I would like to introduce you to myself again. I am transgender, and I am a member of your community. Now 100% of you, even those of you over 65, know a transgender person. I'm the same person you have always known, though I will outwardly change over time to more authentically express who I am inside. This is something I've always known about myself, and a struggle that has pursued me my entire life. Gender dysphoria only worsens over time. A member of the community, not knowing I was transgender, recently remarked to me, "I just don't understand why it's so important to transition." This year, I've reached a point where delaying gender-affirming care is no longer possible. Many transgender people share stories of reaching a point in their lives when they could no longer wait. Especially with my community, above all transgender youth in the crosshairs, I have to take a stand of solidarity. Treatment of gender dysphoria is standards-based, scientifically founded care, says a doctor, and it saves lives. In Exodus 6:6-7, God explains the freedom that awaits Moshe's people. They had become increasingly worried as they approached departing Egypt. The Pharaoh made life harder for the Hebrew slaves as Moshe pushed him for freedom. They feared that this was only making their lives harder. I have to say I've had the same worries. If transgender people brought this punishment upon ourselves in asking for freedom, would it have been better to stay hidden and afraid? Yet, in this moment of trepidation, I remember the promise that God made to his people. I shall bring you out from under the burdens of Egypt, and I will save you from their bondage. I will redeem you with an outstretched arm and great judgments, and I will take you to me to be my covenant people. Remember here that the judgments are against the oppressors, not the oppressed. Whatever oppressions or burdens we face, we should not remain complacent. We should be emboldened by Adonai's promise to stretch out his arm to us. He also encourages us to be a part of the liberation of others and watchful against their oppression. Do not harden your hearts. Since I have begun this calendar year to take steps to live more authentically, the service speaks even more deeply to me. I feel the outstretched arm of my Creator, who has created me, all of us, in wondrous and awesome ways. I ask you as Pesach approaches to consider carefully the bondage that faces you and the freedom that beckons you. I also beg you to support others in their quest for freedom. Hold true to the promise, never again. I would like you to allow me to reintroduce myself, though some of you may have known me for many years. I am Tobias Murphy. My pronouns are he, him. I use male conjugation in Hebrew during the service. My Hebrew name is Tovia Baruch ben Avraham Basara. You can call me Toby or Toby. And this is an awesome rock I found on my walk today. Chag Pesach Sameach. Shabbat Shalom and good Shabbat.
Shabbat Shalom and good Shabbos. You get the first hug.
Oh, he.
That one. Proud of you.
Thank you. Thank you. I'll hug Alexa too.
That is an awesome rock.
Yeah.
Thank you.
How long have you been there?
I'm just trying to create a chance for me to say you rock, right?
Yeah. That's what marriage is all about, right?
Early in the Torah, the book of Genesis, when God creates the first creation, we are created Tselem Elohim. We're created in the image of the Creator, and it's not men who are created in the image, only women, children, transgender people, gays, straights. It's everyone is created Tselem Elohim. And to disrespect any person, regardless of whether you agree with them, whether you like them, whatever, but to mistreat them in any way is a direct affront to God, because we are the manifestation of God in this world. And so we are Tselem Elohim. We are all created in God's image. And some get really great names because Tuvia Baruch, it means literally a good blessing, or a blessing for good. I mean, you could do it a couple of different ways. So thank you. Toda Rabbi Yash. Yashkoach, shkoach. It's we'll be saying that more. All right, page 200. I feel like a rebuttal.
Rebuttal?
Should there be a rebuttal?
I agree with everything you said. What's the rebuttal?
No. I'm saying, I've lost control of this of the service today, so no. No, there better not be a rebuttal.
Thanks for not teaching for 6 hours, by
Oh, great.
Wait till I
Now
get
you
going.
jinxed it.
You know, I've been a rabbi for a long time. I got a lot to
You
say.
can fill it. You can fill the time.
I could fill the time.
Well.
Yeah. Do you know why they don't want rabbis in Congress? Because we could filibuster without, I mean, you need a filibuster? I got 12 hours right now. Let's go. I'll recite the prayer book. I'll recite Tehillim. I'll start, you know,
The entire Torah.
That's elective. This is great.
you know, I had the merit to know a rabbi who was blind, but if you started a Bereshit, you could go all the way through and not see the Torah.
That's amazing.
And
Not
not
feel
make-
it either?
and not make a mistake.
Not read it with his fingers either?
He's an Eastern European rabbi. That's yeah. It's a great guy. All right, we'll start closing out on 282 with Aleinu. Aleinu l'shabeach ladon hakol latet gedula liotzer breshit shelo asanu k'goye haratzot velo samanu k'mishpachot hadama shelo sam chelkenu kahem v'gohor aleinu kechol hamonam v'anachnu korim umishtachavim umodim lifnei melech Malchei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Shehu notet shamayim v'yoser haaretz, u'moshav yekaro b'shamayim imahal, u'shrinatu zo, v'gov hei meromim, u'Eloheinu einot, emet malkeinu efes zulato, Kakatu b'torato, v'yadata hayom v'hashevota, el levavecha, ki Adonai hu Elohim, b'shamayim imahal, v'al haaretz, mitachat eino. Kakatu b'toratecha Adonai yimloch le'olam ha'ed v'nehemar v'haya Adonai l'melech al kol ha'aretz bayom hahu yihyeh Adonai echad Ushemo echad. This week we observed the following yahrzeits: Olga Cohen, relative of Alan Wilkins; Harriet Kaplan, Saul's wife, Sharon's mother; Jean Dunn, Pauline Kaplan's sister, mother of Terry Booth; Norma Rosenfetter, Charlie's wife, cousin of Marvin; Kate Hayflick, Jerry's mother; Andrew Katz, Jesse's husband, Jerry's father; Morris Kauf, Etta Steinberg's father, Paul Jacobson's grandfather; Nettie Katz Shaddles, Steve Shaddles' grandmother; Jacob Meyer, Joan Weisberg's grandfather; Evelyn Island, Ed's wife; Hannah Green, Harold Friedman's mother-in-law, mother of Shirley; Isaac Gross, Diane Shaddles' maternal grandfather, Annie's husband; Harvey Jurin, son of Nathan and Rebecca, grandfather of Nathan; Louis E. Levine, Larry and Chuck's father; Louis Rose, Harold's father; Celia Skoll, Barrett's mother; Lula V. Williams, Hoyt's mother, Judy Lentz's mother-in-law. David M. Wutcher, Rabbi Wutcher's uncle. Sam Kaplan, Anna's husband, father of Stephen and Betsy. David H. Glick, David's uncle. Sherry Gordon, David Fellenton's mother. Rosalie Isidore, relative of Brant Ross. Louis Kraft. Leon Levy, husband of Ruth, father of Suzanne and Martin. Isidore Neckin, father of Max, Sydney, Herbert, and Muriel. Anita Shrinsky, Sherry Solachek's mother. May their souls be bound up in the bond of life eternal. May their memories be a blessing to us all, and may they always rest in peace. Mourner's Kaddish is found on page 294. V'yit gadal, v'yit kadash shmei rabah, v'alma divrach hiruteh, v'amlik malchuteh, v'chayechon v'yomechon, uv'chaye dechol beit Yisrael, v'agala v'zman kariv v'yimru, amen. Yehe shmei rabah nevarach l'olam l'omei maya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitramam v'yitnaseh, v'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal shmei d'kusha b'richu le'elam in kol birchata v'shirata tushbachata v'nechamata da'amiram b'alma v'imru, amen. Yehe shlama rabba min shemaya v'chayim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru, amen. V'oseh shalom v'imrumav hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru, amen. All right, friends, just a couple of quick announcements before we close out with Ein Kelohenu and Kiddush. Again, Yashkoach to Tovi on sharing words of wisdom and words of life with us. So thank you, Yashkoach. Tomorrow morning, services are at 9 a.m. Tomorrow afternoon at 1 p.m. If you have young people, we're having a chocolate Seder. A chocolate Seder, if you've never had one, get your kids here and we'll get them all sugared up and send them home. That's what we do here on the chocolate Seder. So it's a, pardon?
Caffeinated too.
Oh, caffeinated too. My goodness, yes. But it's a fun way for kids, especially kids that are a little too young to understand like the major Seder, the big Seder. This is fun for them. So if you have kids running around, please bring them. That's 1 o'clock, and we provide the chocolate. That's tomorrow. Monday. No Genesis deep dive because we're getting ready for Passover. No Yiddish choir because Yiddish is taking the night off because it's the first night of Seder. So Wednesday night is the first Seder. Thursday night, though, however, here at 6:30, if you have already signed up, and almost 50 of you have, you'll be here for our Seder. If you haven't signed up, we'll see you next year. We put it out. We're going to go shopping starting, I guess, tomorrow and preparing our yummy meal for Passover. So that's Thursday night at 6:30. So that's the Seder. Wednesday night is the first Seder. Thursday morning at 10 o'clock, we'll have a service here for the holiday. Thursday night, the Seder here. Friday morning, service here at 10 o'clock for the holiday as well. And then we're back for Friday night, Shabbat, which is Shabbat Pesach, and Sunday morning next. So not a lot going on this week, but some really big things going on. So yeah, I like Passover. I really do. I like the lessons that we learn. All right, I think that's it. On my end. Seder. Oh yes, if your raffle is coming up, and if you haven't bought your ticket or tickets, please do. If you haven't sold your tickets, please find somebody who's in the market to buy a ticket. See, that's how it works. We are well on our way. People seem pleased with the results up to this point. So please buy your tickets and come and be part of the raffle with us as well. Now I think that's everything. Yeah, my nephew is making his stage debut as, not that he's been on stage before, but he's going to be the Beast in Beauty and the Beast. Yeah. And he's not typecast or anything, seriously, but yes, he is. But break a leg to him and good luck. I'm sure he will bring down the house. All right. Ein Kelohenu, yes, page 322. 322. Have we ever looked to see if is that Portuguese?
Oh, yeah.
Does that fit the tune?
It's Ladino.
I'm sorry, not Ladino, Portuguese, Ladino. Does that hit the?
Yeah.
We don't have to do it today, but we will do it. I'll ask the macadamias to double check and make sure and have them come up and lead it maybe next weekend if they're here.
Yeah.
The Ladino Sephardic Ein Kelohenu, which is not to a German beer drinking song from the Middle Ages like the regular Ein Kelohenu is.
What? How did I not know this?
There might be something that you don't know.
It's possible.
This might be that one thing.
I found
That
it.
one thing, and now you've filled the gap,
I have found
and
it,
you
found
are
it.
now
Mhm.
amazing.
Mhm.
Page 322. Ein Kelohenu, Ein Kadonenu, Ein Kemalkenu, Ein Kemoshienu, Mi Elohenu, Mi Chadonenu, Mi Chemalkenu, Mi Chemoshienu. Nodel Eloheinu, Nodel Adonenu, Nodel Malkeinu, Nodel Moshienu. Baruch Eloheinu, Baruch Adonenu, Baruch Malkeinu, Baruch Moshienu. Atahu Eloheinu, Atahu Adonai, Atahu Malkeinu, Atahu Moshienu, Atahu Shektiru Avotenu, Lefanecha Ketoret Asamim. V'shamru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat la'asot et ha-Shabbat לדורותם ברית העולם. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית העולם. ביני ובין בני ישראל אותי לעולם. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית העולם. כי ששת ימים עשה אדוני את השמיים ואת הארץ. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית העולם. וביום השביעי שבת ויהי נפש, שבת ויהי נפש, שבת ויהי נפש. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית העולם. זכור את יום השבת לקדשו, ששת ימים תעבוד ועשית כל מלאכתך. ביום השביעי שבת לאדוני אלוהיך, לא תעשה כל מלאכה. אתה ובנך וביתך, עבדך ומטה בהמתך, וגרך אשר בישעריך, כי ששת ימים עשה אדוני את השמיים ואת הארץ, את הים ואת כל אשר בם. וינח ביום השביעי, על כן ברך אדוני את יום השבת, ויקדשהו. סברי, ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם, בורא פרי הגפן. A good week for that grape juice.
Yay.
We have people on the intertubes saying, there's Shayna Spurlock, Shabbat Shalom, everyone, and a big heart. Thank you, Shayna. And there's Mom. And Cliff. Shabbat Shalom to all from Rabbi's Mom and Cliff. Thanks, Mom and Cliff. You too. Wishing all a peaceful weekend and a happy Passover. Well, I would wish you a happy Passover, but you're going to be here for it at the beginning, so you'll have to wait. But everybody out there, Shabbat Shalom and good Shabbos. Lots going on. Big things coming down. The big things are happening. It's wonderful. We're open. Please come and spend some time with us. And please, please, please be careful out there.